presented by.
Hello and welcome to the Play Traditions channel. My name is Kendra Moses, and as always we have our resident chef Kai off camera. So it is officially a new year, 2025. So in keeping with the new year, we're going to shift gears a little bit. I focused a lot last year on the actual feelings, the thought patterns, meanings, the traditions. Not a lot about the really deep cooking aspects and teaching and the culinary arts. I did that for a reason. I'm here because of my course that's on Udemy and Teachable.com. I thought it would be a great idea to kind of expand on that course by having actual discussions. So I chose YouTube to do it. It seemed like the place to go. And those courses do cover more than just traditions, feelings, and stuff of that nature. But it is an introspective course, and it is a discussion line course. One thing about cooking and doing anything, basically, you have to be in a certain mindset. This mindset is what starts you off going to any endeavor you're going into. And it's very important, and it's sometimes looked over. We think about getting the ingredients and getting the recipe and getting the instructions before we think about knowing about our level of readiness to actually go into the endeavor of cooking. So the mindset is very important, and it's something that we should not look over. Hello, my name is Kendra Moses, and a while back I established a modest little entity called Play Traditions. Since then, I've developed my concept into a journal, Play Traditions Recipe Journal. And over the years, to any avail, I've been making videos and posts pestering the random onlooker to hopefully inspire them to journalize their culinary pursuits. But there has always been something else that I really wanted to do. Even before the journal, even before Play Traditions, to be honest, I wanted to create a teachable platform for the culinary arts. It's been years in the making, and to be honest, I wasn't sure what would get done, but whether anyone likes it or not, my amount of session is complete. You can find all my text material on the Play Traditions point of view involving culinary arts. So this is basically a course outlined, of course, for the art of cooking and understanding what it means to be in the kitchen, the actual homey feeling of what makes your individual Play Traditions yours. It's pretty much the etymology or the encouragement of the etymology for your personal Play Traditions. So the course is basically designed not only to teach, but it's done in a conversationalist style. So the outline of my course on Udemy and Teachable does start with the mindset. Now we have jumped around for a few topics, from differing a little bit from how the curriculum is set up on those platforms. However, no matter what platform I do this on, I still believe that the mindset is the most important way to start. So 2024 has been initially the first part of my curriculum. That's why I focus so much on tradition and feelings when it comes to food, cooking, and the culinary arts in general. Because it's all attached to a Pacific mindset. And the Pacific mindset is not a textbook mindset. It's very unique to each and every individual. So we want to have these discussions so that each and every person thinks about themselves introspectively. Because you're going to be in your own kitchen. You're going to be in your own space. And even if you're in a shared kitchen with someone else, this is your meal. This is something that you are creating. It doesn't matter if you're about to share it with about a few hundred people or just the one person or just your immediate family. Everything you're putting your hands on in that kitchen, in that space, has everything to do with you. And so that has everything to do with everything that you're thinking about and everything that it makes you feel. And that feeling is very important. It's not just about fawning over the food. It's about how do you feel about what you're about to do. And I want to solidify that when I mention a mindset, I'm not mentioning knowing everything. The mindset doesn't necessarily equate to a professional cook. The mindset equates to a prepared one. This is someone of any level who has prepared themselves mentally about what they're about to do. Number one rule that allowed me to be in the kitchen was if you cook it, you eat it. So that was very revelating, because when you're young and you said you want to try everything and do everything in that kitchen, and your parents are allowing you to say, yeah, you can do whatever you want. Just make sure that if you cook it, you prepare it, you eat it. And that's something to really think about, because it wasn't a fear tactic. It was letting me know that I need to be really focusing and paying attention to what I'm about to do. Because what I'm about to do is going to be something that I'm going to be held to. I'm going to have to eat this food, whether it's good or bad, no matter how it comes out, no matter how palatable it may be. This is what I'm creating for myself, because I set myself on this path and on this motion. So that's why I started the course that way. That is a very powerful number one rule to have in a kitchen. And this rule was mainly set out because working class family, not a lot of money. We don't like to waste food. We don't want to waste food. And we want to make sure that everything we're doing is going to actually be beneficial. We as a society put a lot of things in material items. And I'm talking specifically about clothing. The old adage of the clothes making the man or woman is just as equal to the old adage of you are what you eat. Now, these are two different things. You are what you eat has everything to do with what's going in you internally. And it can have some physical manifestations, but it's basically a very internal thing for that. And then we have our things like our clothing. And our clothing ends up giving us a certain persona as we walk along our day-to-day life. Now, why is clothing important at all for this culinary course? It's because there's a bit of a discussion that needs to be had, I feel, about the whole aspect of what does it mean to actually be a cook. Now, ideally, if you can cook, you're a cook. I mean, from the play traditions point of view, my point of view, if you cook, you can cook. You do not have to have a specific title. You don't have to have a specific adornment. But there's something about being a cook in the form, especially of like a home cook, and possibly a more commercial, professional cook, a chef, what have you. And one of the main distinctions is that of the adornment. Now, the things that we wear in our professions, the certain uniforms we have for anything, are typically very specific. Even for a simple work shirt, for a simpler laborer, showing to anyone who comes to the company that you are an employee here, that you are carrying on the mission of this company, and you're doing this basically about how you go about your job, how you're acting, whatever. And you're showing people that you do belong here. That even though it may be a public establishment, there are still questions among society about why would someone be frequenting a certain area every day. So that's why you have a name tag. That's why you have a work shirt. Some of these work shirts have your job's name and or logo on it, and that lets people know that you belong here. They could possibly come to you for any questions that need to be had as they go along the establishment that you work in. So you think about the culinary arts. There's usually a certain type of shoe. There usually sometimes, I know when I was training, there was a checker pants, and we had a white chef jacket and a white chef coat. Now, the bigger part of the debate is whether or not adorning a simple apron as a home cook or adorning a chef jacket or coat really tells anyone about your level of cooking and experience. Does that really define you? Does that actually truly makes up who you are, especially when it comes to your knowledge and your level and your comfort level of cooking? I'm all for personification, but we're asking this question because we've given so much actual animate attributes to an inanimate object. And so what do I mean by that? The apron is not cooking the food. The chef coat, the chef jacket, the checkered pants, they're not cooking the food. You are cooking the food. So why as a self-proclaimed alpha species are we giving more credit to the adornment of garments than we are to our actual intentions and our actual actions? So I always found that quite interesting. Each dish a story, a ballad and song, from savory to honestly, I came up home cook. Even though I received some training, I still see myself primarily as a home cook. Now, I do use and acknowledge my training because I did that. I went through that, and it was a great experience. And I was fortunate enough that we have a program in my state that I could do this, and I could do something before I decided to enter college. I graduated a year early from high school. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Went to some sort of job fair, and Old Dominion Job Corps Center was there. Job Corps is actually a federal program that offers opportunity to people across the country, but Old Dominion Job Corps Center was the closest one I decided to go to. So, and again, the mindset was still, after looking at all the courses they offered, the mindset said the thing that sticks to me more is the culinary arts. So I said, I'll do that right after I graduate from high school. So I did that. It was a lovely experience, and I'll never forget it. I came back and I used it. It's a very reputable program. And I came back and it got me into certain places that probably just having a home cook resume probably would not have gotten me into. However, being formally trained, there were some things I did not like when I worked into these establishments. And so that's why I'm not in an establishment today. It wasn't going to be for me. Nothing to do with the stress and strain of the job, being on your feet, long hours. None of that. It had nothing to do with higher traffic. Part of the training experience was that I had to be in our campus's kitchen cooking for 300 plus people. And every morning we had to prep for 300 plus people in our classroom. So all the things that we prepped went directly into the main kitchen area for everyone to eat off. Everything for the salad bar, everything. So none of that scared me. It was just the fact of being in an environment that wasn't quite suitable, even though it had the distinction of saying, you can wear a chef jacket and a chef coat here. So that mindset made me say, I'm not going to give up on culinary. I'm not going to give up on cooking, but I could not have that particular mindset if that was going to be the environment. And that's what a mindset is all about. It's about thinking about everything across the board, even when you're just thinking about food. And if you're thinking about the lineage, my father was a baker, my mother was a cook in a commercial establishment. My grandmother, my great-grandmother, my great-aunt, all home cooks, all great home cooks. And these are the people who I learned from. But the thing is, in all honesty, the same as me, they all started out as home cooks. That's how I believe most of everyone starts out. They start out in the home. And these things may get expedited if you're in a family that owns like a commercial kitchen or what have you, and they'll bring you in and teach you the ins and outs of a commercial kitchen. And these things kind of overlap between the home and inside an establishment. So if you want to say that the simple adornment of an apron, that's your cooking level, that might not be completely true. And that might be something that somehow you might be actually holding yourself back with. Don't let a specific adornment of a garment decide exactly where you're at in your cooking level. Having said that, I'm very proud of having a chef jacket that was part of the whole culinary training experience. I loved my uniform, loved it. But the thing is, to get myself to that level and to get myself through that program, it all started with simple adornments, simple lessons, simple kitchen experiences that I grew from and grew up with. And it was so deeply ingrained that we had something called a tar sheet. I cannot remember the acronym. You just have to go with me. It was called a tar sheet. And there's a list of items we had to prepare in order to get to each level. There were 3 different levels. And after you do each level, you get a certificate saying you completed that level. And when you complete all 3, you completed the whole course. Impatient, if I'm honest. I was a mixture of impatient and excited. I was so excited to finally be in a commercial kitchen. Being the person that I am, I brought a huge recipe book with me. I've always been collecting recipes, so it wasn't like a you go buy it recipe book. It was every recipe that I used to sit and handwrite it or photocopy everything I ever wanted to try from around the world. And so I brought that with me as part of my luggage when I left town to start my training. And I couldn't wait. I saw that commercial kitchen, everything, and I just wanted to be a part of everything, even the dishwashing part with that huge industrial dishwasher with the piping hot water and everything else. Making sure everything is clean and sanitized. I love learning about every single aspect of it. I was given quite a bit of leniency when you think about it after the fact. I was instructed to get away with quite a bit because I ran in with my own recipes, didn't get the tar sheet. I don't know why it was a bit of a delay, but they allowed me to go in there and start cooking things that I wanted to cook from that recipe book that I made. And every time I showed it to the instructor, she'll give me a critique, and then I started noticing, oh, I got my first certificate, but I still haven't gotten the tar sheet. I was making things along the line that went with the curriculum for their course. So instead of holding me back to an actual sheet that they had made up for, just a standardized sheet for things you make in order to go along the course, she took everything that I made and said, I completed. And it wasn't like a shortcut either. I was cooking a lot, and I was still involved in the actual process of doing some of the things we were asked to do in the course. But that home cook experience, that home cook excitement, end up getting me those certificates that says to society that I am worthy of wearing my chef coat. Realize that it can be slightly psychological for some people. Like I said, for me, I was very proud. I couldn't be any prouder to be given my chef coat with the usual uniform status and just going about, it was a proud moment. It's something I can't explain. It's just something that's unique and personal to me. And I know sometimes it could go beyond that and be more of a psychological thing where some people feel like they may be smarter or may just feel smarter if they have glasses on. That type of thing, So it almost feels like if I have the full chef coat on, I'd be a better cook, or I am a better cook. Or if I have just an apron on, it's just a lazy day for me. But to be honest, if you have those skills, if you have that passion still, that commitment to the food, I'm not saying it won't affect it. And if that goes with the whole mindset process, these are just simple adornments. And sometimes we let things like that get really deep inside our mind. And sometimes if it helps, if you feel like that the chef coat is almost like a cape and it gives you that burst of confidence. Again, I'm not talking you out of it. Anything that makes you feel good about what you're doing, especially when you're approaching the kitchen and food, is great. Just do you. But I just want to make sure that nothing about that part of the mindset is stopping or impeding you. Don't impede yourself based on simple adornments. Be open to trusting yourself irregardless of the adornments, and just be open to trusting the process in order to get you to that mindset to go forward. But I really want to make sure that I kind of circle out this session because this is important. It's important because it has everything to do with what you're about to do from this moment on, or anything you've already started doing from the time that you decided, yeah, I like to cook, I want to cook, to the cook that you are now. So just make sure you remember that mindset is the ultimate mise en place. The mise en place, French term meaning that you have each and every ingredient there in front of you ready to go so that you're prepared for this recipe that you're about to try out. Your mindset is even more important somehow than the mise en place. Before you're able to get a recipe, before you're able to get those ingredients, your mindset is the ultimate mise en place when it comes to cooking and entering the culinary arts and entering your kitchen in general. No matter if you're a home cook, a professional cook, this is where it all starts. Uniform, unchanging in form or character. Distinguishing attire worn by members of the same organization. I've worn quite a few in the course of my lifetime for work and studies. 2005, I studied culinary arts. I wore a uniform 5 days a week, including chef coat and chef pants, as you see me wearing in this short video. I was one of many who all shared the same fashion and compliance to our work and training. However, our cooking has a way of being anything but uniform in the objective sense. We all have our signature dishes and specialized techniques. So as a professional or a home cook, we are uniformed and unique.
Whoever can one girl, Chef Columbo, a bomb. So what now? You think you know what I'm making? Think this style dictates my undertaking. You can't be real, you must be faking. I work magic like a chin, busy in the kitchen. Yeah, what you got a grin? I may be done in an apron, but I got that paper and pen. I get those recipes in, culinary thoughts in my head. You heard what I said, I stare the flames in the eye. Whether I boil, grill, or fry, I got flavors no one can deny. I don't need no chef coat, all around I'm the go. Do I need to slow down so you can get this quote? Yes, chef. You looking at me so surprised. I thought by now you realize my plate of tradition sells no lies. So what? I say you kid, your apron all fitted. Your pride I can't surmise. As you blow smoke into my eyes, you up and coming, but I'm wise. Look and sit and wait, I'm the epitome of taste. When I'm fixing up those plates, that food quality's no mistake. I take them ingredients and devise, I bring my own recipes alive. Yeah. You gotta know from the start, take this in and be smart. I got that spark, you got that spark. Don't play the traditions, we apart. A bird or chef coat, I don't cook with passion, I cook with food. Now let's get a pants working on that stove so we can do what we got to do. In a flavor crowd. I thought by now you think you know what I'm making. Nobody working the bill, you must be faking. I work magic like a gin, busy in the kitchen. Yeah, what you get a grin? I may be done in an apron, but I got that paper and pen. I get those recipes in, culinary thoughts in my head. You heard what I said, I stare the flames in the eye. Whether I boil, grill, or fry, I got flavors no one can deny. I don't need no chef coat, all around I'm the go. Do I need to slow down so you can get this quote? Yes, chef. You looking at me so surprised. I thought by now you realize my plate of traditions tells no lies. So what? I see you, kid, your apron all fitted. Your pride I can't surmise. You put smoke into my eyes. You up and coming, but I'm wise. Looking, sit and wait. I'm the epitome of taste. Love fixing up those plates. That food quality's no mistake. I take them ingredients and the vibes. I bring my own recipes alive. You gotta know from the start. Take this in and be smart. I got that spark. You got that spark. Them plated traditions we impart. A bird or chef coat. I don't cook with fashion, I cook with food. Now let's get upstairs working on that stove so we can do what we got to do. I don't cook with fashion, I cook with food. Now let's get those pans working on that stove so we can do what we got to do.
Thank you again for joining us for another week. We hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.